We are learning new details about the deadly shooting at an ICE facility in Dallas. Officials say Joshua Yawn was specifically intending to kill ICE agents when he opened fire Wednesday. Here is what else they revealed.
We have been able to confirm that Yawn legally obtained an 8mm bolt-action rifle he used in the shooting in August of this year. Based on our investigation to date, we believe Yawn acted alone, but I'll stress our investigation continues.
Aaron Navarro joins me now from the North Lawn of the White House. Aaron, I want to play for you and our audience sound from the president earlier today about what might have led to this. Listen.
The radical left Democrats are causing this problem, and it gets worse. It gets worse, and it'll be a point where other people won't take it anymore, and that will not be good for the radical left.
Aaron, that creates kind of a rhetorical specter in space and creates this idea that one type of violence might be responded to by another type of violence.
Indeed, indeed. And in general, there's been a rush from this White House to put blame on Democrats, allege an ideological motive behind some of these attacks, both the shooting in Texas as well as the assassination of Charlie Kirk a couple weeks ago, before the full investigation is completed. And what the White House has been pointing to repeatedly this week in the case of Texas is a photo from FBI Director Kash Patel of bullet casings found on the scene where one reads, quote, anti-ICE. Vice President Vance has also suggested that there's some evidence that he knows that is not yet public that shows that this shooter in Texas is politically motivated. But beyond putting the blame on Democrats, what we're hearing this afternoon in the Oval Office is actual action. You saw the Attorney General Pam Bondi just this hour say that she will work, the Department of Justice will work with the Treasury Department to look at groups such as Antifa, which is not a centralized group, and funders to Democrats claiming that they're behind some of the riots we saw against police brutality in 2020 up until some of the violence that we're seeing now. And they're not providing a lot of evidence, but President Trump has called out two names, Democratic mega donor Reid Hoffman, as well as George Soros. So they're certainly amplifying the rhetoric, yes, but they're also using the power in the executive branch to potentially go after or further investigate their claims.
Democrats have heard these accusations and responded, at least in the form of House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries earlier today. Let's play that sound. Control room.
The climate of violence that exists right now in the United States of America is out of control, and we need leadership coming from 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue to take the temperature down for everybody. With respect to the Department of Homeland Security, they should be ashamed of themselves. They put out what effectively is a hit list against Democratic public officials, put a target on the backs of Democratic public officials with outrageous and outlandish charges, and they're using taxpayer dollars to do it.
So the temperature continues to rise, Aaron.
Indeed, and you're seeing the House Minority Leader specifically criticize the Department of Homeland Security, Kristi Noem, who in the post put blame on the latest shooting in Texas on, quote, anti-ICE rhetoric from, quote, radical activists. And then she put blame on what she calls sanctuary politicians or officials from areas that have made it a policy to not cooperate with federal immigration officers as enticing some of the violence that we're seeing in the last couple of weeks.
Aaron Navarro, North Lawn of the White House. Thank you very, very much.